Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Reigns or Majesty. So it's been a couple other days since I've last played. My enthusiasm for this game is not growing by any means, but also I've just been really distracted. So I didn't even remember that apparently I made it all the way to 28 years. Now we kind of know that you start your reign around 18, maybe even 17. So 28 years plus 17 gives you 45. That's possibly a pretty long life for somebody in feudal times. It's definitely not a pretty long life for somebody in modern times. Um, so it does kind of seem like there is a theoretical way that if you just got incredibly lucky, that you could go for an unrealistic amount of time, or at least a lot longer. But I wonder if there are specific cards that only get played once. So even if I'd unlocked all of the cards in the game, we should just be playing. Even if I had unlocked all of the cards in the game, then doing an entire run through and being able to play all the cards in the game, assuming you can, which I don't think you can, because I think some cards are just going to be, this is a good ending card, and that's it. And that's probably a lot of the endings that we haven't seen so far as Memento Mori's, is that I half wonder if at least one of these isn't a you lived forever, you became immortal, you lived to a ripe old age and just died of old age. So we're supposed to examine a church prisoner, pass the sainthood test, join the royal council. This is the new one. See, faces enormous challenge with religious clashes at a bowling point. So let's all run into the maze and chase one another with innocent mischief. Okay, sure. And then supposed to use the destiny clock, or we could go forward or go right and actually wander around. Let's actually go forward. Lady Veil blows past, but you can't hear or see her. Go forward, go back. Interesting, I'm seeing a symbol there. It's nothing here but butterflies. Go forward, go right. Let's go right. Okay, so I don't know what my specific symbol is. Because I wasn't paying attention. And I think that's the trick here. Is that you've got to wander around the maze. Let's make a wish. And at specific points in the maze, you see zodiac symbols. So I wonder if you have to be in the zodiac, in the area where you see a specific zodiac symbol to activate the destiny clock, to activate that specific destiny. Only know the wish deep in your heart, the gold coin disappears into the well. And apparently that was the end of the maze, so seems like maybe you only get two or three choices. Going back once you get to the well didn't seem like an option. This looking glass is a thing of evil. Allow me to strike it with my arrow. Sure. All weapons bounce harmlessly off the mirror. Oh. Maybe I was supposed to side with the mirror. Now notice it's nighttime in the background. I wonder if I wonder if that makes any difference or not. It probably doesn't. No one but you knows why the island king and queen departed so abruptly. Got it. Ugh. Remember the coin you threw down the well this morning? I found the same coin on your pillow. Really? Okay, let's go with really. It's as if someone brought it back for you, she marvels. Tonight's wine has brought a certain mood upon me. Shall we try for a baby? It is our duty for the throne, after all. Sure. Why not? That's positive and then everything. Military being strong seems to not really hurt. We have yet to see a point where military strength got too strong. Lightning struck a cherry tree and it fell. A neighbor kid ate all the fruit. Do parents have to pay the tree owner? Lightning struck a cherry tree. After it fell, a neighbor kid ate all the fruit. Well, I mean, even if this was a case where lightning struck a cherry tree that was on the border of the neighbor and the owner's property, and the tree fell into the neighbor's property, then that doesn't entitle and fair game fruit to the neighbors. Now, inherently, I don't know how much you really should have to pay for eating all the fruit off a cherry tree, but maybe cherries are incredibly expensive. And perhaps this shouldn't come to court, but in the first place, like, it would be ideal in any justice system for there to be a certain point where somebody can step in, some objective party can say, this doesn't make any sense, let's just drop this and be done with it. But no, yeah, I think the parents do have to pay the tree owner in the exact same way that it would be the tree owner's responsibility, morally if not legally, to remove the tree stump from the neighbor's property. And, like, neighbors shouldn't be a burden on their other neighbors in either way. Fruit-bearing trees felled by accident are not public domain. That's an interesting question, and I wonder if these judgments really mean anything at all, or if they're just kind of random questions they wrote. Sit beside me this meal, let's sip from the same bowl, sweet friend. Okay, am I having a relationship with this character? I guess we are. Please sit closer, this is necessary, but it isn't personal. What? Okay. You feel the sting of poison too late and to cry murder. Everyone thinks you died choking on your cake. Interesting. So I just died because I was poisoned. Alright. So we have that symbol, which would really be nice if it just told me what the symbols were as far as the zodiac. Queen Callista comes to the land amid the renaissance of optimism and invention, so I should probably go in that direction. Exile. Exile the Exploration Society. It's Exploration Society. Like, why would I exile them? Funny, we're having a baby now in the second run after trying for a baby. Let's see what happens if we go with Let Me Sleep. Okay, let's educate a dispute. Go soft in the warm country, must let me join your army. Give me command over your men. Why not? Let's discuss. Alright, why not? The main problem is that our long, girlish hair would not fit inside the standard size helmet. It can't be solved. Anyone else? Like, I think this is a dumb argument, so I'm just gonna ignore it. She would have to do a lot of payroll tax forms and she doesn't write. That's too much trouble. Anyone else? She is just as healthy as the others, maybe even more so. You should include her. I agree. My son in the West became a smuggler. Now he's got fines to pay, my queen. Why did he not listen to me? Who knows? Was he desperate? Let's ask this question. See, we went through 3 or 4 questions there as far as getting the warrior, barbarian lady in the army, and that didn't seem to really pay off. And now we have a whole completely different question. Maybe we never managed to get a merchant's license, so he could have to earn however he could. License, question mark. This. Yeah. The law is growing. He was too poor to pay for the license fee, but too inexperienced to earn more than he had a child. Sounds tough. Let's go with can I help? Only a different law would help. She huffs, refusing your charity. So this girl poisoned me previously. Let's go with you'll poison me. How did you know my intention? Are you magical like me? Please believe me. Our friendship was true. How could you? See, this game has just gone off the rails, I have to say. And certainly some of my discontent is from the fact that I've just taken massive breaks in between playing chunks of this game. But a lot of players do play that way. They have to work for a week or two, and then they only have a few hours on the weekend to play. And this is more of a mobile game, so the idea of being able to put down and pick up the play at any point is really more necessary. And yet the storyline here doesn't accommodate that at all. In fact, even doing a single playthrough doesn't really make sense, because events that are happening in previous lifetimes are now affecting the current lifetimes, which just makes the whole story feel like it's breaking and like the programming is breaking, as we see the glitches when we see the All-Mother, which that may very well be the twist here, is that this whole thing is a simulation inside a simulation. And that's why everything is so weird. The original Reigns game, I don't recall, worked quite like this. I don't think this is better. Let's go with how could you? We wanted to eliminate you and marry our niece to the king. Such a bond would strengthen both our houses. Isn't there another way? Perhaps there is. Can you forgive me for what I tried to do? Yes. I mean, either say yes or you kill the person. Let's go with yes. If the merchant's license were more strict, the quality of goods would improve. Let's do it. Let's go with definitely no. You loosen restrictions on merchant license, quality varies, but the rest drop. And we once again just die. And at this point, it seems like moving the story forward is more important than trying to get a long run. Which the game really should have indicated that to me, if that was the idea. It's just, you're gonna die, it's gonna happen very often. Generally when I'm playing a roguelite or a roguelike game, well, it's a different experience, I guess. This is technically a roguelite, L-I-G-H-T, in that there is progress carried over from each run. Whereas a roguelike, L-I-K-E, wouldn't have any progress. And if it was a roguelike, L-I-K-E, then you would solely focus on going as many years as you can. Whereas, generally speaking, even in a light, L-I-G-H-T, you probably still want to go as far as you can. This game, oddly, doesn't want you to do that. It wants you to just try to make little bits of progress here and there and then die when you happen to die. It feels like there's just too many booby traps you can trip over and die in these runs, which arguably it shouldn't just be deaths. There should be other, like, kind of obvious but not permanent negative effects that happened. Hopes of carrying the family legacy of order. So now order is the focus. Alright. We can talk its magic. By your hand I was freed from the hunter's trap, king, queen. Any favor that I may grant you, ask. Lady of the wood, can I pet you? I guess we'll go with the Lady of the Wood again. Lady of the Woods, a fox is no one special, but if you meet me under the sign of Cancer, I can lead her to you. Cancer. Every age has a sign, perhaps you can change yours. Okay, so we have whatever that symbol is in the bottom right, but I don't know if that's Cancer or what. Like, who knows? I need to basically open a Wikipedia page of different zodiac signs, and honestly at this point I keep saying I need to do that and not doing it, so let me just do it. Zodiac signs. Astrological signs from Wikipedia. Do we have a chart? I guess not go to Wikipedia. Let's look at Google image searches. It's all too fancy. All too fancy and not showing the words. And of course, all this. So the assigns names and images. There we go. Alright, I think I've got it. Alright, so the symbol I'm looking at right now is Capricorn. And Cancer is basically the sideways 69. Okay. And so maybe we should just pet the one. The game almost helps you with this. I'm the king. We don't have a tower of my own that's in the palace. Let's build one. Is this a metaphor? So I assume the tower increases order, and since we are in, which one were we in? Capricorn? Power seems to be the big deal. So let's build one. We're now up to 13 towers with the new construction. It's bad luck. Let's build one more to avoid evil. Sure. Why not? Last tower fell the next winter, bringing down all the others in its wake. Interesting. Interesting turn of events, and also interesting that it's saying now a winter has passed. I guess anything, every decision can play out through the course of a year, since it's 1 year per question. Do you ever think about just killing your husband when he isn't looking? Yes. Toot toot. So far you've answered every feminist question correctly. Swipe to make sure all your girlfriends know. Share. What is this? I feel like there probably is some kind of achievement for sharing, but I totally don't want that. Let's see what happens if I try to duel that guy. Let's see. This dual pistol. is something that seems like the only thing we can use to save ourselves. Palace with no towers, where you agree? Yes. Feels like the game specifically was counting the number of towers rebuilt from the beginning. Which emblem will you choose for your embroidery, Lady? Sword of Royalty or Flower of Mercy? I think sword is the right choice now, and I can't believe I saved myself there with the gun. Duchess claims her lord husband has given her no birthday gift for 17 years. Does this constitute neglect? Yes. Same would be this true for the reverse. Just as Waxburg rules that notable spouses are obliged a minimal public show of expenditure. Here we've got another Capricorn thing. It's time of peace when we must begin planning for future mutual military action. What is the Queen's wishes? Practice exercises or fortify the walls? I don't know which one's the right choice, but let's go with practice exercises. That answer has lowered your successful intersectional feminism index by 32 points threshold. Pew. Oh no. Let's go with Pew. Yeah, it does kind of feel like this game is a simulation within a simulation at this point. The Cardinal is always harassing me. I think he suspects, is it cool if I crush on the royal sofa for a while? Too risky. Sure. It's not that you're smarter than me, but do you pay more attention? How about join? But you do pay more attention. How about joining the Royal Council? Alright, well, we know joining the Royal Council is something we want to do. So let's go with yes. So at least we'll make a little bit of progress today. From now on, the land's queens was always given a role on the advisory council. So new questions, but not new cards. When lands are enriched, since you welcomed foreign merchants, will you accept this tribute? Not now. I mean, yeah, why not? Long live the queen each years. Your reign gives purpose to the lives of smaller people. What a gift you are. Take pride. So we have this magic mirror, which I don't think the spellbook would do anything. Let's try the dual pistol. Without a clear reason to aim at the mirror, you lower your pistol. Enchanting. You are enchanting. Find ways to love yourself more and more. Isn't that life's truest calling? Let's try spellbook. No. Alright, and we still have yet to figure out this guy's deal. Let's go with stop crying. Some of these have just been duels are ungodly. It would be exclusively unseemly for you to perform such rudeness with you, my queen. You'd love it. Let's go with you love it. Take another cream bath, have the ladies comb your hair. Nothing more ethical than self-care. Like, we're just trying everything here, and it's not working. So we just tried everything there and didn't get anywhere with it. And so this next one would be Aquarius. So the water looks like Aquarius. And now we're supposed to own a royal riverboat. And unless I just move really fast here, we're probably not going to get this done in 5 minutes. Choosing for impeccable manners aims to instill confidence in the crown. Okay. Let's see. Let's go with the mirror ending. Mirror seems to help you if you engage with it. Let's fight. I'll send her away. Let's fight. By the country folks still without work or wages, shall we provide a stipend or invest in the industry? This is one of those economic questions where neither one is actually going to fix the root problem of it. Country folk still go without work. I think I prefer to give a stipend than give money to industry fat cats who will just squander the money and claim they're creating jobs, when really, even if they are creating jobs, then they're exploiting the energy and the work of the lower class. Or a stipend of country folk could give them enough to buy seeds to grow their own foods and create a self-sustaining system instead of them being tied to industry. Of course, that only makes so much sense as you're assuming the country folk have at least a couple acres and can grow their own food and can do all that. Once you've created a society where a significant number of poor people are in apartments or buildings or even sharecropping or renting out land that they're having to grow food on that land for a king or someone else, that falls away. And so the idea of what a modern city is today actively disenfranchises and disables the ability for many people to simply live a simple life and grow their own food and raise their own cattle potentially, or do anything where they can take any of the resources from the land and enrich themselves. Which is definitely important in economics, and this game isn't really getting too deep in economics, but it definitely is important to realize that what a modern situation in a modern city is not anywhere close to what a farm or a town or a small city would have been back in feudal times, where each person would have their own homestead and there would be a few acres. The idea of having a single acre per house at minimum really should be re-engaged. Plus that would also help with global warming quite a bit. We should have a big summer fair. It should last a month with contests and prizes. Are you in? Let's just go with no. A fire destroyed a renowned stable. Will you express financial sympathies to the owner? Yes. Let's just go with no. Or should we just try and duel some people? I'm still not sure. The court has asked me to investigate a high court judge in your kingdom. I will need your assistance. Sure. No one respects the state more than the church, but the judge was deliberately obstructing our work. That'd be a shame. What do I do? Encourage him to consider the church's perspective more, he says. Shall we visit the royal animals in your zoo? It's not cancer, so let's just go with no. Let's actually see if we can duel this guy. A girl is whipped by the deacon for selling oysters on church property. Was this punishment legal? Ooh, no. By the general idea, and inherently, the idea of sharing power between a government and a church just does not make sense. In certainly olden times, it's considered acceptable and legal to beat people, even people you're not related to. Even who knows if this girl was underage or above age? But I think we definitely should say no. Same would be true for a boy. Same would be true for an old man or an old lady. A deacon should not have the authority to strike anyone. Judge rules against the church. Oh, that was the judge I was supposed to rule for the church. Which argues, certainly I may never get to the point where we examine a church prisoner or pass the sainthood test. Let's talk to the cat. Scratching the ears seems to help you. We girls have invented our own secret language. Please don't tell the king. Let's teach it to you. This is an Aquarius thing, so yes. So you start by moving each vowel to the next vowel. A becomes E, E becomes I becomes O. Understand? Okay, so yes. Time has come for us to heap honors on you, great queen. Will you hear them? Obviously. Our men are honored to die with swords raised to attribute the queen and her name on her lips. Ooh. Too much. Anyone else? Let's go with ooh. It's an early thaw where you have the farmers plant everything now to take advantage of a long spring. I have no idea whether that's the right move or not, but let's just go with yes. The frost has come again after all, and you lost the early planting. Best plan ahead for winter rations, little bones. Let's go with no. It is customary to commission some songs that will spread your glory. Shall we discuss? Let's go with yes. Let us have a singer craft powerful romantic lyrics of devotion to the king. Let's go with yes. Seems like I should have. Let's just click share. Interesting. Clicking share didn't seem to actually share anything. But I guess we should just do that. So maybe there is some kind of internal analytics that are getting shared, but it definitely doesn't feel like that shared to Facebook or Twitter or anything like that. Perhaps in the mobile phone version of the game it actually does do something and it just doesn't on the PC version, or maybe it is just being silly. I do not believe Steam has ever asked for or been allowed to connect to any of like my Twitter or Facebook connections. So if I came back and found that I actually did share to one of those services, I'd be very upset about that. And I think most people would be upset about that. Oddly, that does just feel like a advertisement in the game. We can end this war if you only decree the public that Juno is not your friend. My queen, will you disavow her? Just go with fine. Let's split in the day, let's run in the maze and choose another one of those. Choose one another. Chase one another in the spread of mischief. Let's do that. Okay, so we're at Aquarius right now. It is Aquarius right now. So, doing the Destiny clock right now. If it's going to do anything when it is Aquarius already and you're at Aquarius, now would be the point where it would do that. You can see the Aquarius in the pool of water there. Now, if it doesn't do anything at all, then all I've really done is reset Aquarius to Aquarius. The sign emblem begins to glow. You feel a particular sensation of destiny changing. Yes. No. Let's go with yes. Age of Aquarius, the star science seems heathenous, and you better send out your wayward maids to the nunnery. Let's go with no. Cardinal Vincenzo says the Holy Army he builds is only for ceremony's sake, but it worries me how much we can trust the church. We'll see. We must. Let's go with we must. I met your court witch. She is very wise, almost if she is not of our time. Do you know her well? Not really. Let's go with yes. Scarlet Rash laid the city low. The people are asking for a visit from the Queen. Let's go with no. Partner has high expectations of rain. I hate to ask, but could you wear less revealing gowns? Let's go with never. Let's try the perfume. Something weird about you. Have you been dying more quickly lately? Well, ... Let's go with that. Well, maybe this will change our fate somewhat. I thought so. Please be careful. You could be messing with the very fabric of reality. Really? Again, both of these don't seem like they really do anything. So another... We're done again. Inherently, we are very, very slowly now making progress with the royal deeds and the other things. It's not going by very quickly at all. Finding different deaths is fairly terrible. Like we got one poisoning done, and we still have about 10 new characters that we're going to have to deal with. We maybe have learned a little bit better how to play the game, but not by as much as I would really like. And we still are at like nearly 400 of probably 1,000 cards. The perfume hasn't upgraded in any way. Nothing really has except for the red spell book. And chicken bone seems to be something you really can't use that often. Maybe the chicken bone is so you can do spells, so maybe I should try the chicken bone on some of the witches and the magical characters, but usually when you see the witch or the magical characters, that's the time to really pay attention and try and do some of these interactions. Now, I will say, notably, it is kind of interesting that we aren't running into too much randomness. Like, there are certainly some events that feel like they've been done multiple times, but it always kind of feels like there's a slightly different take on it or slightly different wordings. If this was a real world card game, it feels like we would just constantly have the exact same dialogue popping up, and I'm not sure I've seen much of that at all. Just on a few occasions have I seen some repeats, enough to make me think that when I am seeing a repeat, I'm probably just choosing the wrong answer for what the game wants. And once you've done a path of 3 or 4 cards correctly, it feels like it never brings that up again, except for maybe the maze. Maze was probably repetitive. So yeah, that is nice, certainly. But it could also be a case that some of these cards are the exact same scenario with just different dialogue. or they are just pointless either way. I wouldn't be surprised if there is a few cards that are just kind of randomly pointless. Anyways, it's been over 30 minutes, so that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.